Today we are making a wonderful Cuban sandwich right here on the Blackstone. Stay tuned. You know, I was listening to the radio this morning and Jimmy Buffett's I Have a Cousin in Miami came on, and all it reminded me was of this Cuban sort of culture, and I thought, oh my gosh, a Cuban sounds good, and we have some leftover pork from pork chops we made. I think I'm going to go ahead and make a good fresh pressed Cuban right out here on the Blackstone. So let me talk about the ingredients. Really pretty easy. You need some pork. By the way, you can do a mojo pork, which is the typical way you do this, but I'm using a pork chop and I'm just going to heat it up on the Blackstone. Slice it real thin, I'll show you that. We've got ham, we've got Swiss cheese. Traditionally, these are made with yellow mustard and sometimes mayonnaise, but I gotta tell you, I love this patty melt sauce, this Whataburger patty sauce melt. It's a little bit Thousand Island-y, but it's spicy. Really, really good stuff. And then we've got our nice a Cuban bread. That's what we're gonna use to assemble this sandwich and then press it on the Blackstone. Now, I gotta tell you, a mojito might go better with this. A fresh Bloody Mary sounds pretty good. We'll make that just as soon as we get this sandwich pressed out. Let me show you how we do it. First thing we're gonna do is kick on the Blackstone, and we'll do that at medium. All right, we're gonna come over to the Blackstone and we're gonna go ahead and go on low to low medium, I think is the spot we're gonna go. And I'm gonna take my press and I'm gonna pop this press right here on top of the burner because I want that to get nice and warm for later when we actually press the sandwich. We have some leftover pork. They were stuffed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the stuffing out of these. We just don't need that in this sandwich. And then I'm going to slice this real thin. Let me show you what that looks like. Now we're just going to go ahead and cut this nice and thin. Listen, I am guilty of using a fillet knife with so much. I'm going to cut a little bit of this fat off here because on the sandwich we definitely don't want that. On the pork chops that was kind of nice. I'm just going to run this right along this top edge here. Perfect, got rid of that. Now, we're just gonna start slicing this up. Now, I wanna go pretty thin for this because I ultimately want it to just sort of be biteable from within the sandwich, right? That's important to me. Let me kind of show you what we're doing here. You can kind of see the thickness here, nice and thin. I'm doing this thin for two reasons. One, I want it biteable. The other is I wanna heat this up fairly quick on the Blackstone. It's already cooked, right? So if I heat it up too much more, it could get a little dry. We don't want that. So I'll show you how we're going to do this. Now what I like about this is because this was a stuffed pork chop, I have all these little pieces like this. They'll be perfect for in a sandwich. And if for some reason you don't bite through it all and it just pulls out, no big deal. It's a bite size. It's not like having a big ol' giant slice of pork. It's the reason why when you do a Cuban, you typically do like a mojo pork and it's you know, cooked to about 205 degrees. So it's actually like shredded pork, right? So a lot like barbecue pork would be the way it pulls apart. All right, we've got our pork. We'll just slide that over a little bit. Now, I think it's probably best if you use shaved ham. To be honest with you, I was in the grocery store this morning before the little deli was open, so I grabbed some of the pre-sliced stuff that they'd sliced ahead of time. Now, what that means is it's a little thicker than you would typically likely do on this kind of a sandwich. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull out 3 slices of this. I'm also going to take this and I'm going to cut it in about 3 different strips here. Maybe 4, given the size. That way, as I put this on the griddle, I'll be able to fold this up real nice, get these pieces wherever I kind of want them, right? So the idea is we want this to be a little bit, you know, sort of stacked, right? You think about the way you would have done shaved ham, you'd heat it up and then you just sort of pile it on the sandwich. We want that same thing. It gives it a bit of a fuller look like that. And then we're going to get 2 slices of Swiss cheese. Swiss is traditional on this kind of a sandwich. I've got 2 here, but to be honest with you, I might need a 3rd. So that one's on the ready, and I'll leave this open just in case we need it. All right, so we've got that going. Let's get our bread prepped. Now, I'm gonna do, I don't know, let's say we'll do about this large of a sandwich. Take this and put it back in here. Now here's the funny thing. You want to do as much of this as you can ahead of time to sort of get it prepped. It's not going to take long once it hits the Blackstone. So what's interesting is I'm getting everything prepped and ready to go here. Once we put it on the griddle, it won't take long. The thing that's going to take the longest is when we press it. But we let it sit and cool down for just a few moments. We're going to make up those Bloody Marys. Now, we could use a bread knife here, but I'm not going to. So just cutting this right down the center so we can open it up. Go. Just what we want. Let's get that cut a little bit more through there. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to get a little bit of mustard on one. Ooh, condensation's coming off of that. Mustard on one side. And we'll do a little bit of this Whataburger sauce on the other side. I'm just going to sort of spread this into the bread a little bit. This is going to help toast it up a little bit. Good and traditional right here. Typically it would be mayo and mustard. Let's go ahead and get this ready to go on the Blackstone. It's going to be a fast one. As I mentioned before, I have this sitting right on here so it's nice and hot. And now what I want to do is just want to take a tad bit of oil, very small amount, not much. And we'll start with some of our pork. Drop that right on here. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, because as I told you before, this pork was already cooked, right? So I don't want it to get too moist. I'm going to put a little bit of water down in here. We'll let that steam help heat that up. A little bit of that going. Let's take our bread and drop it right down on here. And now we're going to start heating up that ham. There we go. That pork is almost done. Look at that. So quick, so quick. Take our ham, get that flipped over. This is about a 3-minute cook. It's a quick one for sure. Now I want to keep that ham nice and, or that pork nice and moist. Add a little water under there. See how that's looking? Oh, looks good. Pork is looking good. Ham's looking good. Start prepping for our assembly. Get this on the hot part of the griddle. Alright, here we go. Get a nice layer of this pork right down here. That's hot. Wow, 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 wow. Now this is a meaty sandwich. Don't skimp on that. Some of our Swiss cheese right down on here. Your hand going? Oh. Look at that. Seeing that? And now it's a matter of doing the crushing thing. Use our spatula to start. Hold it right there. And take our press, drop it right down on there. Shouldn't say drop. Carefully place, balanced. That's why we do balance. See that? Started to tip over on us a little bit. Here we go. Keep an eye on that. All right, this has been going for about 2 minutes. Let's give this guy a flip. Oh, that's looking good. Press it on this side for about another minute. Deb and I were saying, you know, it sounds really good. A Bloody Mary. Actually, a mojito sounds even better, but this is quick and easy because I've got a mix. I'm cheating. All right, that's it. It's as simple as let's pour these up. We're going to do, about 2 ounces of vodka to about 5 ounces or so. So 1, 2. I know Deb likes hers a little weak, so I'll go lighter. I'll give her extra to me. And then we'll put in 4 to 5 ounces of Bloody Mary mix. There we go. Nice squeeze of lime juice in each of these. Drop that right in there. Then we will garnish each with a lime wedge. All right, let's get that. Oh yeah, we need to just sort of stir these up. Otherwise, the very bottom of that would be a rough drink. ice keeps escaping. All right, we'll pull our press off of here. This is looking unbelievable. And it is pressed. It's exactly what we want to see. We'll tear it right over here, let that cool for a moment, and then we'll slice it up and have it. Now, I am not a fan of warm pickle.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I gotta get my drink ready, buddy.
I thought I had it ready for you.
Don't mind me, folks.
Now, I'll tell you, I am not a fan of warm dill pickles, so I always put these on after it's done. It's a little hard to disassemble a pressed sandwich, but I think it's the way to do it. All right. Let's take a slice into this, kind of show you what it looks like. There is a delicious looking Cuban. Cheers. Oh man, that's good on a hot day. There you go. A good old Cuban sandwich. In honor of me hearing Everybody's Got a Cousin in Miami from Jimmy Buffett today, I don't know why it just reminded me of this. It's all about Cubans and whatnot. And this sandwich just kind of came to mind this morning while going to the store. So, man, that is good. That is really, really good. What an easy lunch. This comes together so quick, absolutely delicious. What a wonderful way to use up some additional pork that you have or leftovers. You kind of convert everything into a whole other meal, right? It's really good. And Bloody Mary's not too shabby either. Cheers, my friends. We'll see you next time. Oh, good. Hey, you're still here. If you've enjoyed this video, please do check out the rest of our playlist. Up here we have all of our PitBoss smoking videos, and down here all of our Blackstone griddle videos. Enjoy!